Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 2 of Roll20 Presents Dungeon of the Mad Mage. It's gonna be dungeon times. I'm so excited. I was looking at this adventure between sessions because I just wanted to make sure I knew what kind of silliness is coming up. And there's so many things in here where I'm just like, what is gonna happen when they get well, I can't seeing a dungeon in its native state sounds PCs. You're like, okay, I can kind of see how this would work. And then as soon as the players get into the situation, I'm like, okay, cool. There's like 1,000 goblins. Also, I would like to just point out, I looked at the VODs afterwards. I gave you guys an extra bugbear worth of experience because a bugbear got buried under the pile of corpses and I lost the token.
That seems fun.
So during your long rest, while you're in the tiny hut, a bugbear pulled himself free of the pile of corpses and fled into the dungeon. Like the lone survivor of this horrible massacre.
We left him alive to tell this story.
No. Headcanon, that bugbear is the one whose skeleton I pulled out of its flesh. It was still alive.
They have to be you have to be dead. It's not animate living. But yeah, that one bugbear, he's gonna be haunted by that experience forever. Just die like piles. It's like he's like the World War I bugbear, right? Just his bodies of his friends on top of him as he tries to crawl out of the trenches. Adventurers are a nightmare.
It was their fault. They started it.
Fair,
did.
True. They did. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, this one's on them, not us.
Yeah, we were just protecting ourselves.
Yeah, it happens. That's
It was in self-defense.
Well,
it was
besides
murder and self-defense.
Besides marauding around in the Yawning Portal's basement, what's everybody been up to since the last time we played? Elf, you still playing that Neverwinter?
Holy shit, yes.
So I tuned in for a hot minute while you were playing, and I was like, A, oh my god, this game looks old as shit, and B, my assumption based on what I watched you play is that it's like a freeform LARP, but instead of in person,
it is old school MMO-ish.
Yeah.
Mixed with like LARP elements and 3rd edition D&D. There are places you get to know like nearby that will like always have wolves or always whatever or like that kind of stuff. And it respawns based on basically a timer. It's You're never going to clear the crypt of undead. There's always going to be undead in the crypt.
Sure.
But, like that kind of stuff. But the interactions between characters are so fun.
Really?
So fun. Just to give you an idea, I'll give you a snapshot of my character. So my character in that game is currently a level 6 druid. She's neutral evil and she eats sentient flesh. So she's cool with just like killing humans and eating their skin. Cycle of life.
I just feel like every character, Rin is maybe the nicest character you've ever made. Like I feel like Rin is the least fucked up character I've ever seen you make in the history of the time that we have played games.
But so I've run into other players and I have a bunch of friends, one of whom is like this wizard who's definitely up to something shady. One of whom is this monk who like makes leather armor. And the other of whom I ran into in a dark cave who I thought I was going to die to, but then was like, what do you believe in? And I'm like, hunting. She's like, cool. And now I have like a werewolf, I think, spooky mentor who's like, kill me a dire bear and bring me its pelt. If you don't, you die. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. I totally do that. I'm going to go do that. And that kind of stuff. It's like I haven't done it yet.
If you haven't watched Elf play this game, it's not just Neverwinter. It's this whole like other weird thing.
It's Barovia. It's Ravenloft.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a look because I feel like it's pretty, as far as I've ever experienced, it's pretty unique in terms of like D&D content on Twitch. Like this kind of like weird role play. Like it's somewhere between playing like Dungeons and Dragons and playing like Ark on an RP server. Like it's
and the
D&D,
reason I got into it is because I wanted to do the Ark stuff, but then I realized I'd have to role play with my voice and that sounded really spooky.
Right.
So I instead just went to text RP over on Neverwinter and it's worked out way better.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny though is that if you watch Elf do these streams, you're still going to get the voiceover because Elf talks while she types. So you get a little like the mumbling as you type it, and like it's pretty fun to watch. I watched for a little while.
I try to speak my lines.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's cool stuff. Yeah, man, the internet is so weird and great. So yeah, if you haven't watched Elf, do that. Check that out. Lauren, what have you
Or
been
come
up to?
do it yourself.
Yeah, or do it yourself. Lauren, tell me,
$20.
have you made any costumes? Have you injured yourself on stream? When was the last time that you stabbed yourself with a glue gun by accident?
I didn't burn myself using a hot glue gun this morning, so I'm quite proud of myself.
Good, nice. That's good.
I don't think I've had a major injury on stream now, and I'm gonna knock on a lot of wood that I said that in a while. No, I'll cosplay all the time. So close to finishing Spider-Gwen. So close. But
I saw you're working on some sleeves.
yeah, I hate sleeves. Arms are the worst. Wrists rotate. Bodies are terrible.
Yeah, I feel
mannequins only.
Yeah, I feel like a costume like that, part of it is just like you just need to vacuum seal it to yourself. It can't be fabric.
I considered sewing myself into it.
Yeah.
We went through that process. We decided to install a zipper.
Yeah.
Failed at making a wig, so we're gonna try that again. But it's been good. It's so close. Emerald City's on Thursday, so I gotta have it done by then, or I'm not allowed to wear clothes. You sign up for that when you start cosplaying. Is your choices clothing or naked or cosplay?
Good. Well, I think one of those two things probably violates the Emerald City Code of Conduct.
No, I don't think so. I think it would be fine. It would be easier to get through all their security stuff.
I definitely remember someone being ejected from Gen Con a few years ago for wearing a Mother of Dragons costume that was just dragons, like glued to strategic locations.
Yeah. Oh, no, people do get in trouble, but it doesn't stop them.
Right. They're just like, I'm going to do it anyway. So,
like, I have a friend who
imagine gluing things to,
yeah, like
the Maid Marian costume with just the hair and the chest belt.
Yeah.
She's done that one. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, I hope your wrinkle problem for the sleeves gets worked out, because you seemed really mad about that.
I gave up. I got crotch wrinkles, wrist wrinkles. It's a very wrinkly suit. While simultaneously being very tight.
Yeah. What the
Good
hell?
times. Cosplay is great. I recommend it. It's a good hobby.
Yeah, not something that I will ever do, but I'm so, like, I love it. Good cosplay is so great. And what I love about watching cosplayers at cons is the kind of like, and I'm sure it doesn't happen with everybody, but I've seen multiple times people kind of are like semi in character. Like if you see a Spider-Man walking around and the Spider-Man sees a Dr. Octopus walking around, there's like a moment where you're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Yeah.
I hope there's a Dr. Octavia cosplayer from Spider-Verse, because she's like my favorite character.
She's great. The reveal was great. Her costume is so good.
Like I hope someone's doing that.
Yeah.
I also hope that.
Yeah. But that vibe of like cosplayers, like, and I feel like it's interesting watching people kind of fall into their character, because you sort of, I imagine, like lose your own identity because no one is seeing you as you anymore. Like they see you as like
you definitely character. I think it depends on what you do, but like there's definitely a certain amount of adopting at least the way the character like walks and stands.
Yeah.
Because that's part of how you have to wear your costume. Like it'll look crappy if you don't.
Yeah, totally. You have to kind of like put on, because that's the thing about characters. It's like how like voice actors make faces when they voice act, because you kind of have to like embody the thing to do it right. It's not just the clothes, it's the person in them. Yeah. Fascinating. So cool.
Interesting world.
Oh, that's so great. Everybody's such cool nerds. Man, I love you nerds. It's great. Dave, how is streaming going? I tuned in to watch you do some streaming. I've been getting some extra time. How's it feeling? I know you've been getting back into it.
Yeah, really good.
Good.
I had my first rage quit on stream like last week, so that was funny.
Now, did you rage quit the game you were playing, or did you just rage quit the stream?
Rage quit the game. I made a break screen in 5 seconds.
I feel like some streamers have definitely prepared that. Zeke has a like technical difficulties, I'll be right back stream when he needs to go throw things.
Yep.
Yeah. What game were you playing that you rage quit?
I was playing Tactics Ogre, and it's great. It's a bit complicated, so I was a little bit, ooh. But it suffers extremely from suicidal NPC syndrome.
Yeah.
Where one will come in and it'll be like, yeah, protect this person. I'll be like, great. And they just run as far away as possible, like right into the middle of the enemy. Just it's awful. So yeah, I got a bit annoyed with that, and I swapped over to. I played some Dead Cells, and I got the furthest I ever got in a run. Maybe because I was angry. But,
you're powered by rage.
We've swapped over to a different, same genre thing. I was going to do it after anyway, but we're just comparing that to Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2, and that's a lot more my speed because I'm kind of bad at strategy games, and this is a lot easier. So I'm feeling a lot more confident about it. It's really fun. It's a cute game.
Yeah, I feel like I have like a lot of fond memories of the Final Fantasy Tactics Advance games, even though I only played each one like one time through. When I think about them, it's one of those games where I'm like, yeah, I could play that again someday, eventually.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. It's a genre that doesn't super exist anymore. I mean, there are iterations on it. There are things that are kind of different. Like the XCOM sort of genre is very similar, but I would still say is kind of distinct.
I think at a distance, if you squint, then you might think that they're like the same games. But yeah, they're definitely branches on a similar tree, at least.
Yeah, this is definitely more RPG, where XCOM is more strat.
Did you play much 4th edition D&D?
I didn't. I did my original D&D in 3rd, and then came back when we were doing the streaming stuff with 5th. So
yeah,
I think I own 4th edition, but I never got a chance to play it. That was when I was like in university and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like if you like tactics games, 4th is like pretty fun for that kind of thing. Like I've always thought that was fun to like, do that. But it definitely feels more like you're playing Final Fantasy Tactics or XCOM. Which if that's your jam, then
I was interested in them like for kind of that reason. It was like, what happens if you mush up RPG stuff, TTRPG stuff like D&D? Could you just make one that works like that? And if 4th edition's already that, then I just don't have to.
Yeah, 4th edition, I've suggested it to people who are looking to make like a tactic style or capture that kind of like move your guys around. Like you could make a squad-based 4E derived thing pretty easily that would feel like tactics or XCOM. Yeah,
it's just the progression in between things, and the sub-jobbing is so very specifically Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
that sub-jobs when you get ones off one and you mush them together and make a super soldier. I love that. That's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, I would love to see the Wizards do more with either release it as like a Creative Commons thing or whatever, like under a license, or do their own, like another game, because there's some pretty cool stuff that came out of that era of games.
Totally.
Yeah, cool. So you're just hitting the tactics. That's cool. Are you gonna finish Ogre Tactics Battle, whatever the long title of that game is? Something about crying
Tactics
alone.
Ogre. Let us cling together.
Right, let us cling together. Good.
I don't know. Yeah, I want to, but I might do it off stream and talk about my experience of it rather. Because if I'm going to have to grind the same mission 8 times for the one RNG where everybody misses the NPC every turn, I'm doing that off stream.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. I'm glad it's going well for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Blue Jay, last but not least, what have you been up to? What have you been doing? How's things over in Blue Jay country?
I went and saw Captain Marvel.
Same. What did you think?
I thought it was good. It's definitely not my favorite of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. I feel like they've got some really good stuff in there, like Iron Man and Captain America: Winter Soldier. That is just like way more in my genre. There was a lot of humor. It felt more like Guardians of the Galaxy in terms of the way that the humor was. Also because of the space aspects. Like I feel like the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff was like a obvious comparison there. There was just like one, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there was one specific character who made the like humor go from like this is funny to this is too much for me personally. Definitely not the case for everybody. And having read like all of the comics in the recent years, especially the ones that Kelly Sue and David Lopez worked on, which is the people that were mostly working on the film, I had expectations that were different than the stuff we got, which is like, that's me because I've read the comics a lot, which isn't necessarily the case for everyone who goes to watch the film. I think it was really good, just different than I expected.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I definitely didn't expect it to be as funny or as like jokey as it was, but I thought it was like, I was surprised at how good Samuel L. Jackson was in it. Like, not that I don't think he's a good actor or whatever, but I thought he was pretty awesome. Like, I was surprised.
There were some really good parts in the movie. Like, it was like, there was some really good stuff. I think that there was just some stuff that tipped it over from like, this is a good amount of comic relief to like, okay, and that happened in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 for me as well.
Yeah.
The first one was like so good. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, the comedy was just like spot on. The second one, they just went too far with a lot of the same jokes.
I think that's fair.
So yeah, but I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Visually, it was great. I loved seeing a live action Captain Marvel film. I liked getting to be like, oh, like Monica Rambeau, I know who she is. She was in blah blah blah. Like, she's also these other things, and like just having that was a really fun experience as a fan. I also loved all of the men telling me that Captain Marvel is Guy, and me being like, no. That was great.
That feeling that you have of like being excited about seeing a movie as a fan. I have that feeling about like Dune, and I'm just gonna be sitting there in the theater being like, oh, please don't fuck this up, please. Like,
I would love to be there for you.
Oh God, no, I have to go alone, otherwise someone will witness my like. I'm excited about being in a dark theater, watching this movie alone or not with anybody I know, just clinging to the seat like, oh, nope, oh God. I'm terrified of it.
But like having worked in a comic book store, trust me, I've already gotten every single like, but Captain Marvel's a guy thing like multiple times. And it's just so funny to see it come back up again and be like, yep, great. Also, the whole rigmarole about people saying like Brie Larson said that this movie isn't for 40-year-old men, and I'm just like, no.
Well,
making me like defensively do the research because you don't want to. It's great.
It's a hard place to be, and this keeps happening where like a movie can be so for reasons that have nothing to do with the fact that the main character is a woman. Like, we can just be like,
yeah,
it was fine. Like,
it was fine.
There's a lot of reasons.
Good, entertaining movie. I also think it suffered from the fact that it was basically like a lead up to Endgame.
I think she's gonna be badass in Endgame. So
she's gonna be so good. But like a lot of Marvel movies, I feel like suffer from the fact that they're setting up for X other Avengers film.
We're very quickly approaching the like critical mass where it's going to be too much. There's just too many Marvel movies and it's too much together, and they're just going to be like, blow it out, we're done, and we're starting again.
Well, and I think we've already started to see that with some of the main Marvel actors being like, this is my last film as Tony Stark or Captain America or what have you, because they understand as well that like, you set up for Endgame. Endgame was the big thing, and after this, like,
I
mean,
what exactly?
Endgame. Where do you go? It's the end.
It's the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like it to end. The thing is, as long as it makes money, it won't. Is the problem? So it's
and as
Endgame, except here's some more movies. I wish that it actually did.
I think I was reading that Captain Marvel is like the 6th biggest opening ever of all time for a movie worldwide. But in other news, I also bought myself a half dozen donuts, and I only have half of one left, and that was yesterday. So I'm living my best life. Sometimes you feel bad, and you're like, you know what could make my day better? 5 donuts.
I respect that so much. I respect you, Bleach.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Good. Well, I don't have any donuts, so
that's your fault, man.
Out of spite, I'm just gonna have to kill your character today.
You could order them right now. They'd probably get to your house by the first break.
No, I'm not gonna order donuts. I don't need them because then I'll eat them all. So fired up on donut energy, and having taken a rest, our characters emerge from their tiny hut. And I want to know why Leomund gets to keep the name Tiny Hut, but all the other spells lost their name. Like, where's my
everybody lost their
like, was Leomund just not, he just didn't have a good lawyer or what? Because like I feel like they got, everybody else got ripped off. But yeah, so Rin, when we ended our last episode, Rin had constructed the magical tiny hut. The bugbear crawled up out of the pile of corpses and fled. And we have a new Skeletor friend.
Yeah. I need to read up on Animate Dead because I'm not 100% sure about like how it's supposed to work vis-a-vis creating new undead servants.
Should we take a look at it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
So what's the spell called? Animate Dead?
It's Animate Dead. I just put it in chat as
Okay.
far as it
Animate
is
Dad.
in
Animate Dad. Okay. Good.
Animate Dad. So it says it creates one undead servant, right?
Yes, correct.
So one spell slot is one undead servant, and then it says to maintain control of the creature for another 24 hours, you must cast the spell on the creature again.
Yep.
Before the current 24-hour period ends.
Yep. Which means you need one slot for each undead that you have.
No, the spell reasserts your control over up to 4 creatures.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Rather than animating a new one.
Okay.
Which means that if I wanted to have 4 again, because I've obviously been doing this over time in my downtime when I didn't need to keep my spell slots. Because I only have 2 level 3 spell slots. So
Correct.
each day I can create one new one
it's a conjure food and water situation where you could create new ones or you could use those spells for other stuff.
Well, no, I can create one new one and then use another slot to maintain my spell over the other one.
Yeah, sure. Basically, if you want to be a Diablo necromancer, you pretty much have to forego your highest level spell slots for now. You pretty much just have to be like they don't exist, right?
Yeah, that's my thought.
So you've just finished a long rest, which means how many spell slots do you have?
I thought we finished a short rest.
Did you do a short rest? I can't remember.
It was a short rest.
Okay, it was a short rest, right? Because you weren't ready for the long one.
Yeah, I have one. Okay. I have one more level 3 spell slot.
Okay. Which means you're gonna need to use that to continue to maintain control.
No, because I just made that guy.
Right. So you have 24 hours, which
I have 24
means
hours
at the end of your next long rest.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with. I just I feel like the smart thing to do is to not build another guy until we are at the beginning of our long rest. And then at the end of our long rest.
Yeah, and then maintain both. And you'll be down 1/3 level slot.
Yeah, instead of being down 2, just in case we need to revivify or something like that. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, the spells text is a lot. It's a lot of stuff, but I'm pretty sure what I understood was I'd have to spend both to try and make more than just one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Sorry. It was a tangent. Please finish.
I was just gonna say, so with the way this spell works, we talked about this before, how they will obey whatever command you give them to the letter, not to the spirit, because they can't interpret, and they will just keep doing that until you give them another command. If they get attacked, it says that they defend themselves against hostile creatures.
Yes.
But if you say go to that door and open that door, and they get an attack of opportunity along the way, they won't stop to fight that thing.
Yeah, because they can only they can only understand one spell, one command.
Yeah,
right?
And you can use your bonus action to command them all at the same time.
You can command any or all of them.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So doing one is I read that again, so I can command each of them separately.
Yeah, but they will even though, and like we saw last time, they don't consider something hostile until it attacks them.
Or if the command given was defend yourself.
I think it's reasonable to assume that you are also considered self for them. So if you, on our map, for example, if Skeletor and you and 8 are standing here and 8 takes a swing at you, Skeletor would attack him by default. It's up to you.
No, I agree that because these creatures are animated only by my magic, the me and the them are kind of the same thing.
But the problem is that you don't necessarily want them to just aggro anything that attacks you, right? We're talking about uncommanded undead, right? Undead that you have not been given. The problem is, and I wish that it just didn't have the creature only defends itself against hostile creatures. I wish that it just cut that out completely, because it becomes confusing about what's a hostile creature, what counts as defending itself, right?
Well, I think the point is that I always need to have a command issued.
Yeah.
Because it's only if you issue no commands. So a standing order of just defend me or defend the party or defend yourself would just having a standing order at all.
Well, but what does defend the party mean, right? Because attacking someone isn't defending, right? Like if a goblin came around the corner right now, if you said to the skeleton, defend the party, and a goblin came around the corner with a bow and said, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you, would the skeleton attack that goblin?
Yes.
Why? Because that's not
it said,
defending.
fuck you, I'm gonna
No,
kill you.
but the skeleton can't hear or understand that threat. It doesn't know it's a hostile creature. So what is it like?
But I feel like you're making it overly complicated. Any creature with the intention of
But a skeleton can't read your intention.
okay, but
Right.
you're you're overcomplicating it.
No,
like,
I'm just trying to understand the
monster is
parameters of the
hostile.
I'm trying to understand the parameters of the spell, just so that we know we're clear as we go on, because this is something that's going to continue to come up, right? So I want to make a ruling on it now. I think that the only part that's confusing to me is only defends itself against hostile creatures if you issue no commands. I think if you issued a command, it does nothing except the command, regardless of whether it gets attacked or not, because it can't act on its own. Right? Like that example of like, go open that door, and then goblins jump on it and start stabbing it. It will ignore the goblins and go open the door. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's being overcomplicated. I don't think that their intention was like, let me give you a 3-page essay about what counts as like blah blah blah. I feel like any creature that is not a PC in a dungeon is hostile.
No, because then what if I'm like, you see a dark elf around the corner, the skeleton shoots him with the bow, and you're like, I didn't want him to. And I'm like, well, the skeleton thought he was hostile. The skeleton sees a dwarf come around the corner, and he's a happy-looking dwarf with a stick. And then the skeleton's like, I shoot him because I think he's hostile because we're in a dungeon. Like, I really think they have to be like machines, where they just do what you tell them and nothing else. And if they have no command issued, like if right now, before you get a chance to command them, something will like attacked it, then it would fight back so that it stays alive. But also like defending itself, like I hate that line because it makes it unclear. But I think that as long as you're issuing commands, they're basically, zombie computers. You tell them what to do and they do that thing and only that thing, because then it makes more sense, right? Because we can't give them intelligence. We can't give them desires or like thoughts, right?
I think the issue we were having last time was that because the creatures were attacking other zombies or attacking us and not the zombie in question, you're like, well, I just like my issue mainly being like, if the zombies who are all animated by the same spell, if one of them gets attacked, then all of them should defend.
Right, but that doesn't mean, see, it says defends itself against hostile creatures, defends itself, not its friends, right? It doesn't defend itself
but
against.
They're not really friends. They're like a hive mind.
But they're not. They're all controlled by you, right? Like you're the central, it's like you and then zombie, and they're all controlled by you, not linked to each other, right? Like one zombie can't tell what the others are thinking or doing.
But I can use one command to command all of them.
Yeah, that's just so you don't have to spend 4 rounds using your bonus action. I just think we gotta, I just want to know how autonomous they are. And I think the answer is not at all, because otherwise we get into all these questions where like, I have to command them for you. And then what if they do something you don't want? Right? Then you get mad at me because you're like, I didn't tell them to do that. I just want to make sure that we all like know what they're doing and how they work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think let's just clear this up. They only defend themselves against hostile creatures if they're not currently being issued a command. They will ignore things that attack them if they already have a command. And if you tell them to defend themselves, or if they defend themselves, what is that? Do they just attack the thing attacking them until they're dead?
Or until I give them a different command.
Okay, so defend yourself means attack the thing attacking you until it is dead or stops attacking you. Like, do they chase things after they run if they're defending themselves?
There's nothing in the rules, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. Defend is not a simple objective. Do they take the dodge action? Is that defending yourself? Like, so I think if we just establish if they're not given a command and something attacks them, they will attack that thing until that thing stops attacking them.
Okay.
if that's how you want to interpret defend.
I mean, that's how you want to interpret defend, and you're the game master.
Well,
so.
no, I'm asking you because you're the only one that's going to do this. Like,
I honestly don't know. I feel like it's like every situation is going to be a different situation,
well,
and
which is why specificity is why specificity is important, right? Because they're computers and they won't do anything on their own unless you tell them, like, if this happens, do that. So they'll just follow you around if you tell them to follow you around.
What makes them like less intelligent than other creatures that act more autonomously with the same intelligence score?
Because they have no autonomy. Everything they do is defined by Makaria's will, not by their own.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean that's
right. Like they these kinds, they're not wandering undead. They're not free undead. They're a specific kind of skeleton or zombie that's bound to Makaria for agency, and they have none of
that
their
makes
own.
sense to me.
Yeah.
I like robots.
Yeah, basically they're machines made out of corpses.
They'll get smarter if we hit level 13 and you get Finger of Death.
Yeah.
Finger of Death's great. You don't even have to use spell slots. You're just like, I have a zombie army now.
Yeah. Okay. And as long as and I mean, I think that's the thing is as long as we understand what it means, like defend yourself. So if they get attacked, they'll just fight back until they stop being attacked, whether that means the thing dies or runs off, and they won't chase them because that's pursuit unless you tell them to.
Yeah.
And then
But they get AOs.
That's the other thing. For attacks of opportunity,
Yes.
I think if Makaria has given them a command to like fight the goblins or defend me from the goblins or whatever, like as long as they have a fighting command issued, if they're in fight mode, then sure. But if they're in the middle of doing something else, they won't AOO. Like if you're like break down that door and an ogre walks past, they won't attack the ogre because they're currently in break down the door mode. Right? They have that order. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think in the moment we can decide, like if they have multiple attack modes or whatever, we can decide like, does it chase? I'll let you decide, like, does the skeleton run at the person with the bow or do they shoot back at them with their own bow?
Execute combat plan protocol.
Right?
6.
Yeah. Like that's, I mean, they're just robots. They follow their computers and they follow single commands. It's like playing Robo Rally, like go forward, turn right, turn left. Or like go ahead of us and it'll stop when a decision needs to be made. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Good. I just want to be really clear because obviously Makaria, like this is a thing we want to explore, this like necromancer build. So cool. Okay. All right. So you are in the intersection of the hallway where you found the mask of Halaster's face. And I think, did you explore around this corner? Have you gone up here and had a look in that room? I feel like Jewel did.
I feel like
session.
no,
I did.
No, 8 looked down it.
8 looked down there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I can't see very much because I only have
Yeah, you just have your regular light.
lantern.
Okay.
Lantern.
Okay.
So we'll go look down the hallway.
Okay. You can go check it out. All right. Yeah, the hallway extends as far as you can see, and then at the edge of your vision out here opens up into a room a little further down.
Let's see what's down in this room. Hopefully not something that will kill me. I walk down to the room.
That is a
Hold
good
on,
hope.
Before you move, Jewel, I noticed that you're not at full health. Did you not spend your hit dice during the rest?
I didn't spend 2 of them.
Keep in mind that you get extra hit dice because I have Song of Rest.
Wait, I do?
Or not extra hit dice, but you get extra healing on your hit dice. Hang on, I'll give you the full Shazam in a second here. I just gotta like.
Yeah, that's good because that's I spent hit dice, but
There you go.
2 ones on my hit dice. I remember now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm
You get an
sorry.
extra 1d6 per hit die, and at higher levels it'll be more. But
So per hit die? Okay.
per
I'm
hit
gonna roll
die,
that
you get
real
an
fast.
extra d6.
Yeah.
I will
'Cause
take
I'm
an
a
extra
bard.
6. Thank you very much. I will take an extra 12.
Nice. Okay. So this
I'll take an extra
room
1.
this room
I
at
don't
the
get to
end
keep
this
the
room at the end
excess,
of the
do I?
hall, as you can see, Jewel, is more or less empty. Empty enough in the sense that there are a few burned out torch stubs. There's some discarded potion bottles. This room looks like a dead end when you walk into it. And it looks like a dead end that's been occupied before.
Jewel would like to check. She's currently bitterly disappointed with this dungeon that has proved to only have goblins and murder mirrors. So she would like to look for a secret door.
Yeah.
And talking skeletons.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Fine. I guess the skeleton was kind of cool. Is anyone helping her look? It looks like Rin just wandered into the room.
I'm looking.
Yeah, I can help you search for a secret door. No
All right,
problem.
let's do it.
I don't want to get snuck up on again. That only happens.
Cool.
once.
12.
Okay.
13.
Yeah, there's like maybe bits and pieces of graffiti on the walls, here and there. Chunk was here. This looks to you, with closer investigation, this looks like a room where previous parties of adventurers have stopped to rest. This is like when you're on a hike and you go on like a little side path and you find like an obvious like fire pit and like crushed up beer cans everywhere, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so this looks like a place where somebody has rested before.
This is a room of disappointment. Let's go back.
Well, we missed one fork. We could go back that way.
I support this decision. The other one led us to the stupid room at the beginning with the weird pillars.
So if we head back down, like towards here, there's this fork we didn't go
There,
down,
that's-
which I presume is probably where the goblins came from.
Yeah, so the goblins, they poured out of this hallway and then another hallway down below. Yeah.
Because
we
we
already,
skipped
like-
it and then we got attacked from behind.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
walked past it
dude,
and then they came out.
definitely from there.
Jewel will go and see what's up with these two doors.
Yeah. So this hallway ends in two doors, one to your right and one straight ahead of you.
Mhm.
Is there
And
anything different about them?
these doors are So they're made of the same material you've seen other doors in this place. They're wood. They are set into the stone in a normal way, but they both have that circle with a dot with like lines coming off of it sigil that you have seen in times past. And I think you all recognize that it's like
That's
the symbol of the
Xanathar's.
Xanathar's Guild. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had that conversation.
Yeah. And does anybody speak Goblin? Do we determine this? Nobody does. Okay. You recognize there is something written on the door in Goblin in purple paint.
On which one? The south door or the
This door here.
east door?
Yeah.
Which one do we want to go through?
I don't care.
When no
Okay.
one says anything,
Pick
Jules will
one.
say that one has goblin written on it. So do we want to murder some more goblins?
Well, maybe it says don't
Sure,
go in here,
let's
you
go.
die immediately.
It says, impending death ahead.
Well, that's what they did the last time,
Yep.
presumably, but they didn't write it in goblin. So
Mm-hmm.
this seems
Check
more
for
interesting.
traps.
Jewel will attempt to open the door.
It
Check
says,
for traps.
it says Taco Bell in Goblin.
Jewel checks her traps and then attempts to
Okay,
open the
all right,
door.
yeah.
Open it up. There's a bunch of goblins behind a counter.
Yeah.
Like,
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Good Goblin. How can I take your order? So make another investigation check as you examine the door.
Yes, I will.
Nice. It appears to be a bog standard door in every conceivable way.
She opens it.
All right.
great.
You open the door. The room beyond appears to be a watch post of some kind. In the center of the room, there is a shattered statue, just kind of standing, like, let's say.
Is it a naked lady?
It is not this time a nude woman. This statue, let's say it's like here-ish. So that this statue is in the center of the room, and it looks like, unlike the other statue that we saw, this one doesn't look like it's being broken apart. It looks like they're trying to put it back together. You can see evidence of like mortar work and some pretty shoddy mortar work, to be fair. And it looks like somebody was trying to reassemble this statue. It's made out of black stone. And you can't really make out at a glance what it used to be. Maybe you can see like a piece of a leg. Otherwise, the room has some sort of miscellaneous trash and some stoneworking tools in it.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, this is also disappointing.
Are there no other doors?
It looks like it continues around the corner, so Jules gonna kind of saunter down there and take a look around the corner.
Okay.
While the others, if they would like to, can choose to investigate what's happening with the statue. But
I mean, I have no reason to know about goblin gods, and it probably isn't a statue of a goblin god anyway. I don't really do that.
Yeah, Rin, do you want to examine the statue any closer?
I mean, I guess. What would I roll to do so?
Investigation check? Maybe history? Either one I think fits.
History it is.
Okay,
Because
sure.
my investigation is bad.
Okay.
My history's also not great. Here we go. Damn
Oh
it.
no, that's nope. You have no idea what the hell this formerly Blackstone statue was
Nonsense.
of. But it looks like the bugbears had some intention to rebuild it or reassemble it.
Adam,
Yes.
can you bring my skelly up behind me? It's just following.
Yeah, so you want to set them on follow?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just like butting up against me whenever I stop. It's
I wonder
great.
if I can just group the two of you.
Yeah, just tether.
Okay, try moving. No, he's
I
not.
can see that like it's a
breaks.
square.
He's grouped as a singular entity, but it's not like he won't come along with you. Okay, I will.
I mean, you could give him to me and I can move him around until we get into combat or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if I can give you just this skeleton, because it won't represent the character anymore. I meant to check in on that, but I'll look at it
Okay.
on break. But yeah, I'll have him just follow you. So you issue a command like "stay close to me," and he follows along. Okay, all right. So Jewel.
Jules gonna
Yeah,
take
there's
a peek around
another
the corner.
hallway, another stone hallway around the corner here.
She sees this small hallway and she's gonna look into it, and she sees something in there.
Yeah. All right. So when you look around the corner, you can see hanging from the ceiling on ropes attached to the back of its neck, to its shoulders, to its elbows, and to its wrist, as well as to its knees and feet. You see a skeleton. It is dangling from the ceiling, and then the ropes go up to the ceiling to sort of some kind of complicated mechanism, and then they all come down to the corner over here, and they're just hanging limply, those ropes. There's also some like piles of trash laying around, and there is a broken shield lying in the northwest corner of the room.
Can I hear that like they're in this room now?
I assume they're moving around quietly. Nobody has spoken.
Okay.
Yeah, I move super quiet.
No,
I mean, you
don't.
clank and rattle as you walk in.
Smash,
But
smash.
no, I mean they haven't been
Okay,
loud
yeah.
enough yet.
Blue Jay, you're out of focus.
There you are.
Yep,
Hi.
you're back. Yeah, I think at that point, like Jewel turns around, immediately sees a skeleton, and like turns around to find Makaria, and Makaria's not there yet. She's like, Makaria, where's Makaria?
I'm just leaning on the wall in the hallway.
Yeah, so you can see that there's a door on the far side over there. And yeah, there's the skeleton hanging here, and then there's the broken shield kind of lying over here someplace.
Is the skeleton like facing the door?
No. It's
Okay.
facing the floor currently. Its head is down.
It's like looking down. Yeah, Jewel's gonna go back and get Makaria. Like she'll go all the way back around.
Yeah.
And be like, Makaria, we found a skeleton. Oh,
Oh.
it's probably through that door. And she'll point at this door.
Right.
I thought you'd like it. It's a skeleton.
I'm not gonna check for traps because I live dangerously. I'm just gonna
Okay.
push the door open
Okay, yeah.
unless it's locked.
Nope, the door's unlocked. It opens.
And I poke my head through.
Okay, yeah, you see a skeleton hanging from ropes. laying at the
Oh,
floor.
well, hello there. Can I examine the skelly boy to see if there's like, I don't know, why would it be hanging from ropes? Does it have
Throw a rock at it.
something I can pull to make it go like and
What?
dance?
So what are you examining? The skeleton, or just like you want to make an investigation check?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me make sure.
Jewel steps
Normal.
in behind Makaria. See,
Can I help?
it's
by
weird.
throwing a rock at
And
it?
dead.
I get a
I
16.
thought you'd like it.
Okay.
Thank
Wait.
you. I do indeed like
Sorry,
that.
eight. Are you helping?
I was saying,
Sorry,
Can I
rolled.
help by throwing a rock at the skeleton?
I don't think that helps with the investigation. No.
I wanted to see what would happen when I did it, though.
Okay. Well, you can throw a rock at the skeleton as a
Yeah, I do.
separate action. Okay.
Yeah, I want to do that.
All right. The rock hits the skeleton and it all like rattles.
Me.
And yeah, the rock falls to the floor.
I got a 16 on my investigation.
Okay. The skeleton used to be inside a body. It's a
Uh-huh.
real skeleton. It has a clean cut that has been repaired with some kind of paste through its wrist and through the front of its ribs and its sternum.
So like its wrist was in front
its
of
left wrist, yeah, through its left wrist and its sternum. And the back of
Like it
its
was holding
ribs,
a
the
shield.
back of its ribs are chipped. And it's been hung here and glued or pinned together to maintain its shape.
I look at the shield that's broken on the floor. Does it have a similar slash? Like it was shield, hand, body.
Yes. Each half of the cloven shield has letters etched into it. One half, if you were looking at it straight on, the leftmost half in common has the letters N-I-M-R.
Nimrod?
N-I-M-R, and on the other side, A-I-T-H.
Nimrath. And she's saying that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Nimrath.
Yeah.
Is that a recognizable name?
Somebody can make a history check.
I
if they want.
will make a history check.
You're
Here we
bad at
go.
that.
I'm doing it.
I'm saying it out loud,
Okay.
so I'm helping. I'm
All
just
right.
like Nimrod.
Yes, you're very helpful.
Okay, yeah, do it.
I'm also trying
21.
to that.
You do not recognize this name particularly. You think it might be an elvish name, but these bones are far too stout to be elf bones.
Oh, okay. Someone's taking this shield from who it belongs to. I would say.
I mean, it seems like it belongs to this fellow. Why would you have a skeleton hanging from the ceiling when it's so much more useful? And I point back at the skeleton behind me.
Goblins probably poked it with sticks, enjoyed messing with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're a bard, right? So you're fairly well versed in the cultural arts. This thing looks like a marionette. Like if you pull on one of the strings, you could make the goblin like lift its arm or like lift
The
its head.
skeleton?
Or the skeleton, yeah.
See, look. You could just play with it. It's for amusement. Nothing
I
else.
mean, I could do that as well. I turn to my skeleton. Dance.
Spooky, scary skeleton starts playing and he starts doing the Charleston.
There you are.
I start pulling the things.
Okay, make a performance check, 8. Performance with dexterity.
Have the skeleton also make a performance check.
Okay, good. It's a dance off.
It's charisma.
The skeleton gets a 1.
Good.
Excellent. Dave, your dancing skeleton dances better than the animated skeleton. The animated skeleton kind of like clutters around, bonks his head on the door frame.
Stop that.
But
You're going
yours
to hurt yourself.
it stops. But yours is better. Yours does the robot.
Yes, I love it.
He dances the dance of your people.
Jewel picks up the shield. Like she
Okay.
she
Isn't
does
it in
the
2
thing
pieces?
and like looks at it and turns it over, and then it's like, if there's absolutely nothing, drops it on the ground to be like, this place is boring.
Yeah, it's a cloven wooden shield, and it looks very, very old.
I almost took mending when I learned an extra cantrip, but instead I took light and I looked directly at 8.
I didn't ask you to.
If you're done playing with the puppet, let's see if there's anything.
I'll take it with me. I mean, I might as well.
Oh, he could be useful later.
Not the skeleton, the shield, I assume.
Yes.
Why can't we take the
You
skeleton?
can take the skeleton if you want.
I'm sure there are plenty more skeletons.
All right.
We should leave this one for the next goblins that come here.
All right, so Dave, make a note. You have Sundered Shield, Nimrath, because that's what's written on it. You don't know if it's the name of the shield or what, but it's definitely broken.
Is that the name of
Okay.
No, that was Zinrath. I was thinking of a WoW machinima. That's a cool back.
Yeah. Xanarath.
All right. So where to? Jewel, you
There's
see
a door back over
yeah,
here.
you see another door here.
Door and two ends of a hallway. I think she's gonna walk to the end and look down the hallway.
Okay. Yeah, now this was the hallway that you came down originally that leads to the archway that turned you invisible.
Oh. Jewel looks down that end of the hallway and she's like, I wonder if I'll turn invisible again. Okay, let's go through the door.
Yeah.
It definitely did turn you invisible the first time.
Yeah, there's no way that one of those things is not a murder bolt.
Wait, did we already go into this doorway?
We have not been into
Yeah, that door is shut.
Okay, well then why don't we do the whole rigmarole? We've already been down
This
that
door
one.
is marked with the same circle in the eye.
Isn't that the Xanathars?
Yes.
Check for traps.
Let's kill them all.
Ah, yes, the dungeon door strategy. Traps every time.
Yeah, somebody can examine it.
My job.
Okay. It does not appear to be trapped. This door is
She opens the door.
is a regular door. Okay. Yeah, you open it. Beyond, there is a short hallway and the stink, the unmistakable stink of goblin.
Ugh.
You
Like
hear
dead goblin or living goblin?
It's so hard to tell the difference by smell. Like, really, just very hard to tell. Yeah, it stinks like goblin in here. But you hear no sounds. You don't hear talking or.
Well, let's go. And she proceeds down the hallway to this corner here.
Okay, yeah. So this room opens up into what looks like a den or a warren. The floor is covered in filth, but like softish filth. So like, and you can see little like
mattress type
goblin nooks. Yeah, there's probably like a couple of like shredded mattresses, and yeah, it's basically just a big goblin pile. Though the goblins are all absent.
Is it because we
Jewel, isn't this the same thing as your attic? You should love it in here.
Doesn't smell this bad in there.
Yeah.
Not to you, you're used to it.
Your
I
basement
agree.
smells worse than this.
that I have a sense of smell?
Excuse me, my basement is a laboratory. It's very
It's full of
important.
corpses.
This room, I believe, by the standards that you set in the previous rooms, is boring.
If there's nothing to kill and nothing tries to kill you, mark it down as boring.
Correct.
Very well then. I feel like there ought to be a door that we have not yet investigated. Or was there another direction off of that room with the pillars?
I
This
think
place
there
is
was a
supposed to
third
be
direction.
massive, and so far it seems quite small.
We have the main intersection taken 2 of 3 directions. There was also a doorway that we did not use far to the south, if I remember correctly.
Oh, was there?
Yes. In the room with the naked lady statue, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think you're right.
Well,
Hey.
should we go in that direction?
Do I remember maps like this? I don't know.
We are
'Cause
also
you're a robot.
quite close to the starting room, but should we go back to that other door? Let's be thorough on
Clear
these 2 of 3
everything.
directions.
Yes.
Is anyone making a map?
No.
A mental one.
Rin, don't you have a book on you at like all times? Why would you not be making a map of this place?
I'm a writer, not a cartographer.
We could we could sell it.
I
Okay,
love the
I'm
idea.
gonna
I
be
love
real-
the idea that Rin's map would just be like a lyrical epic, like
Yeah.
about the dungeon rather than like drawing it. That's so
Jewel gets
good.
into this room and she
Uh-huh.
looks at the pillar
Yeah.
and she's gonna go through the archway.
You're like, the last time I went through this archway, I turned invisible. So you walk back
Like,
into
if
this
this
room.
is how Jewel dies, is worth it. Curiosity killed the cat, and Makaria might bring it back.
So you
yeah.
walked back into this room, which again is
Yep.
occupied by a pair of plain stone pillars with an archway between them, and then you walk through. Can you roll the d12 for me, please?
I can.
Jewel.
Why are you doing
2.
this?
Can you make it? Can you
Why
make
not?
a?
I
Can
could
you make?
become invisible again.
Can you make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw, please?
I can.
Please do.
17.
A 17. Okay, you succeed. So you only take half damage.
Oh no.
And I didn't roll great. Okay, you take 9 force damage.
Okay.
As you pass through, the archway seems to attempt to activate, like some kind of latent magic fills the archway, but instead of doing whatever it was supposed to do, it just blasts you with 18 force damage. Now you're able to stagger forward, taking only 9 damage, and then the archway slowly goes like dead again.
Wait, can you use
Powers back
the evasion or whatever?
Uncanny dodges only against an attacker, I can see.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it didn't do that before.
Ow!
Yeah, I was right.
It's Jewel, and she's like,
Did you break it?
maybe the goblins broke it. It made me invisible last time, and I wanted to try it.
Rin can also make you invisible without the chance
Seriously
of
consider
certain
trying it
death.
a third time.
Don't.
Do it.
She walks back around it.
Yeah, you walk around. Okay.
Well,
Fine.
anyway, where was the other door?
I'm there.
This
Yeah,
thing
8 has wandered off.
Yeah, I just wandered over to
I should probably catch him.
Okay, so you walk back through the room with the dead mage that spoke to
Oh,
you
I
of
like that
Dweomer
guy.
Core. This one, and actually here
Yeah.
I'll make a note on here of what that
Do
room
we
is.
own core?
So dead mage, Dweomer
This
Core.
part.
Wasn't there also a pile of bones here?
Yes, that
Yeah,
was
smashed them.
You smashed them.
Yes.
No.
okay.
I did. You told me off once already.
Okay.
I felt bad.
All right. So you go ahead and you end up here. So you're in this main room here. This is where you came in. You snuck in through this little side chamber. This is the excavation site. So this is the pile of tools. There's the dead
Naked lady.
goblin on the other side of the tunnel. And here, yeah, a headless statue, rubble all around you. Yeah.
Trap check.
Yeah, you're gonna examine the area. Okay. You don't find any traps by examining this, but you do find in the rubble what appears to be the statue's head.
Oh.
It is the head of a cobra with its fangs bared, and then the neck breaks off in the same way that the statue's neck does.
Wait, the statue's of a humanoid-looking woman, and the head is of a cobra?
Yeah. Big cobra head. You could fit it right back on there.
What kind of goblins are these creatures?
Goblins. Not cobra ladies. Different time spans for creating. Do you want me to take the head with us?
I mean, you could put it back on the statue.
Oh,
Maybe it activates
it's pretty heavy. I don't know what the carrying capacity of your bag of holding is, but like it's a solid stone head of a statue that's like, how tall is it?
I think it is best left
15
on
feet
the
tall.
statue, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe if we put it on the statue, the woman will come to life, and then you can kill her.
It's worth a shot.
I mean, it's broken, so it's like it doesn't look like it's been like cleanly removed. It looks like it's just been broken off.
Oh.
But you can try to like balance it up there.
8's like 8 feet tall anyway, so it's just like.
Yeah, all right. I'll pop it up there.
Okay, make
Oh, you
a
make a lovely couple.
dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Boom.
Okay, you managed to balance it perfectly on the neck and like take a step back, and it doesn't fall off. It doesn't teeter. If something hits it,
It's totally going down.
it'll fall. But yeah, you've balanced it perfectly. You did it.
Oh.
Nothing
think
happens.
She looks even more hideous this way.
Yeah. Now it's a statue of a nude woman with a snake head.
Quite a lovely couple, 8.
Are you done over there? Jewel is attempting to open the door.
Yeah, you want to open that double door?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so this door, interestingly enough, has its own, you see light on the other side. So as the door opens, you can see additional light sources. So these tunnels are flat ceiling, and they're only 10 feet high, so they're not very high up, right? You could just reach up and touch the ceiling. They are, like 10 foot by 10 foot across the top and up, square hallway, and the hallway is lit by, where are you going? It's brightly lit by flickering tallow candles that float in shallow niches along the walls.
Sorry, I was just looking at the spelling of Dwemer core.
The candles they seem to produce light, but you don't see any smoke coming off of them.
Sorry, did you say floating as in suspended?
Yeah, hovering. Yeah, float candles. Yep.
Okay. That changes the tone of the hallway somewhat.
Yeah, so you can see them, and there's little pools of light kind of hanging around you. And I think before you start examining this hallway, let's take our first break here in the hallway of magic floating candles. I'm thinking of like, there's that scene, the Hogwarts scene from, with the floaty, you got it. Everybody knows what I'm thinking about. Yeah. So the floaty candles from Harry Potter. Cool. All right, stick around. We will explore the hallway of floating candles in just a few minutes.